What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, we are let the team turn to motherfucker day. So here outside big crib and the gang shit outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia, do your thing, and Texas stand the fuck up. Each day is a new day, be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring down, stand back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also never put yourself in a position you belong. Let's stay humble. Let's go on revolution on this moment. Keep Yahweh first. Coming to the Black Hebrew Israelite as a real Jew. We out here. Alright. Boom. Today, motherfucker day. Straight here outside. Big crib and the gang shit outside shit, man. Gang. No, turn up. Go. Bruh. We've been following this young Dolph situation case for a minute, man. You know, we've been having a lot of rappers who got taken out through 2020 and keep on going, even before that. But it just got to a crazy spike. So the mastermind behind the shit, Govan, Hernandez, has been found not guilty. Bruh, this shit is wild. The people on the stand, Straight Job, and the other nigga, they all snitched on each other. Everybody snitched. I think this nigga worked for the government. But they got a $200K bounty put on his head. This shit getting crazy, man. Let's get into it. So we got Hernandez, Govan. They trying to say this nigga is not guilty. Allegedly the mastermind of every fucking thing of the young Dolph case.
A stunning verdict for the man accused of orchestrating a beloved rapper's murder.
Free that nigga. I got he free, but that's wild. It is what it is, man. Let the streets handle it.
And that the money was good. The money was guaranteed.
If this is what is sufficient evidence for first-degree murder, we're all in trouble because you're going to be next.
We're taking you inside that Memphis courtroom for that shocking trial,
Damn.
plus the reaction of the alleged mastermind's acquittal.
I knew in my heart I was innocent.
Thanks so much for joining us on Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner. Hernandez Govan was accused of directing two men to gun down rapper Young Dolph in 2021.
Yeah.
Those men claimed that they were offered money and other perks. Now, one still has to go on trial, another is serving a life sentence, and one of them is walking free.
This individual. That's me.
That's just a snippet of the testimony from the man who admitted to gunning down rapper Young Dolph. But that's not the same man who just was on trial. Real quick, to understand how we got to this trial, we have to go back to November of 2021. On November 17th of that year, Adolph Thornton Jr., aka Young Dolph, was visiting what was reportedly one of his favorite bakeries in Memphis.
And at that stoplight, they see a special car pass through. And what is that car? A blue camouflage Corvette. Most people in Memphis know that there is only one person in this city that drives that car in this region of town. Adolph Thornton.
We'll never know what was going through his mind in the moment leading up to what happens next, but you can imagine the simple answer was just getting something sweet from Makita's cookies with his brother, because he was likely unaware someone was following them. Young Dolph wasn't in the bakery long before a man jumped out of the passenger side of the car and bullets flew. Young Dolph was killed instantly. The music industry was stunned to hear of his murder. Rapper Gucci Mane wrote, "Rest in peace to my friend Dolph. This broke my heart." LL Cool J wrote, "Rest in power, young brother. I pray your children and family are covered and lifted by the Almighty." And Chance the Rapper wrote, quote, "God bless Dolph. Real independent Memphis rapper born in Chicago, loved by millions of people. Always showed love every time I seen him. This is tragic. God bless his family, man." But of course, the city of Memphis lost a huge fixture. In a tweet from now former Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland, he wrote, quote, "The tragic shooting death of rap artist Young Dolph serves as another reminder of the pain that violent crime brings with it. My thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends." And after his murder, officials worried more violence could come. Then U.S. Representative London Lamar tweeted she would recommend Memphis City Council implement a citywide curfew for the night. Now, the two shooters were captured on surveillance video, and they were eventually caught. One of the alleged shooters is Cornelius Smith, who pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, and the other was Justin Johnson, who was convicted last year for the rapper's murder. Justin's half-brother Jamarcus also pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact, but there was another man charged in the case too, Hernandez Govan. According to prosecutors in Justin's trial, Justin and Cornelius didn't know each other that well. They were brought together by someone known on the street as Qued, real name Hernandez Govan. But why would Hernandez pay for murder? After all, that's what the state alleged. Well, I said just a bit ago to understand this case, we have to go back to the day of the murder in 2021, but really we have to go a little further back than that. And we have to bring someone else into this story too, a man named Anthony Mims, aka Big Jook. So prosecutors claim Big Jook wanted revenge on Young Dolph for the diss tracks that he made about him and his record label. And it should be worth noting, Big Jook is the brother of another famous rapper from Memphis, Yo Gotti. Now let's just say Young Dolph didn't get along with Yo Gotti. Some of their beef was music related, some of it was personal, so one can argue maybe why Big Jook wasn't a fan of Young Dolph. Plus, it's been reported Young Dolph turned down a record deal in 2014 with CMG, known to some as Cocaine Music Group, others Collective Music Group. But it was the record label that was run by Yo Gotti and his brother. Meanwhile, Young Dolph had Paper Route Empire, or PRE, which became known as the rival record label. Years after turning down the CMG deal, Young Dolph's debut, The King of Memphis, came out. And that sparked a major reaction because Yo Gotti claimed that he was the King of Memphis. Okay, so stay with me. There was bickering back and forth on both sides for years, and there was violent foreshadowing along the way. In February of 2017, Young Dolph was shot at on his way to a concert that he was set to perform at in Charlotte, North Carolina. In May of that same year, Yo Gotti associate and rapper Black Youngsta, who was signed to CMG, was one of 3 men who surrendered for their alleged involvement. Black Youngsta was released from jail and the charges were later dropped. Months later, in September, Young Dolph was shot at again. This time, he was actually hit. That shooting happened in Los Angeles, and he survived that time. According to a report by the Commercial Appeal, Yo Gotti was staying at the same hotel as Young Dolph. However, LAPD denied that Yo Gotti was a person of interest. Okay, so for a few years, things seemed to be okay-ish. Then we get to November 17th of 2021, and Young Dolph is shot at again. And this time, he didn't make it. 3 years after Young Dolph's murder, Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, is also gunned down. Officials haven't publicly confirmed if Big Jook's murder is connected to Young Dolph's murder. They were years apart, but you can't help but wonder, right? So I've been talking a lot about the beef between Big Jook and Young Dolph. Where does Hernandez Govan fit in? Although he was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder, he wasn't accused of pulling the trigger in the shooting that killed Young Dolph. Instead, it was alleged that he and Big Jook put out a $100,000 hit on Young Dolph, and prosecutors claim to have texts to prove it.
Without the ones like you,
Govan started out by selling drugs to Smith, pills more specifically. But that's not the only thing that Govan did. Govan chose Smith. And Govan chose him to do a job. Govan also chose Justin Johnson,
Boy, that's so damn
another
crazy.
co-defendant, to do that same job. A job that ended in the life and death of Adolph Thornton Jr. He chose 2 desperate people. Smith, needing money, needing to support his family. Justin Johnson,
Well, then,
an aspiring
Young Dolph
upcoming
people
rap
let him
artist that
go.
wanted to be on CMG's label. The
So-
very label that Govan had access to and was affiliated with. Govan told Smith that there was a $100,000 bounty on Adolph Thornton's life. And that the money was good. The money was guaranteed. If Smith and Johnson completed this job. So what did they do? What did the two desperate people do? They agreed. And Govan asked for a $10,000 cut from each of them.
Damn.
He chose to ask for this cut from each of them. Smith contacted Govan from Angela Arnold's phone.
I wish they did so YNW Millie.
So he could get his phone back. Ladies and gentlemen, there are copious amounts of phone records, and Sergeant Browning will testify that these call detail records will support what Smith is saying. And if that's not enough, Angela Arnold will tell you that she and Smith met with Govan after the murder so that Smith could get his phone back.
Govan's defense attorneys, however, said that the blame of young Dolph's murder solely relies on the shooters, and the evidence from the cell phones don't tell the whole story.
Remember, Cornelius Smith has made at least 5 different statements to law enforcement over the course of a year where everything changes. He's then met with the prosecution at least 5 or 6 times to go over his testimony prior to testifying here today. So you should ask yourself the question when the judge instructed you, does somebody have a reason to lie? Do they have an interest in the outcome? You are caught red-handed on video, and you're about to see in a second, taking an AK-47 and lighting it up at a cookie store in broad daylight. He's facing a mandatory life sentence. That's all I'm questioning him about. And I ask each and every one of you, what would you do if you were facing a mandatory life sentence to get out of it? Why would you need to make so many different statements if you were telling the truth? Because remember, the truth is the truth. You don't need to practice it. You don't need to remember it. It's the truth. So let's see who the government has gotten in bed with to try to prove their case against Hernandez Govan.
So we aren't going to show the shooting because it's truly that shocking. In the surveillance video, you see 2 armed men with masks on approach Makia's cookies, and they just open fire. Seconds later, young Dolph's brother comes out of the bakery, and he seemingly tries to get his weapon out of the car. He was able to fire off a few rounds, one even hitting Cornelius Smith, but by that time, the white Mercedes sped off. And again, this trial is against Hernandez Govan. While the state claims that they have text communications that corroborate Govan's involvement in the lead-up and aftermath, his defense says that doesn't show the full picture.
The other thing the government's going to try to talk to you about is cell phone tower records. The expert that the government may call, or if they don't call him, I'll call him, will tell you tower records are inherently unreliable because it's not like on TV. There's a reason why all the engineers from the cell phone providers, T-Mobile, AT&T, specifically write in their letters, they will not testify in court because of the unreliability. The other thing you have to know, Robert, put up the slide, within a 10 square mile area of where all this happened, there are 553 T-Mobile towers. 553 just from T-Mobile. And it's hard to see this because there's so many. There will be more AT&T towers. There will be essentially over 1,000 towers out there. And what the expert will tell you is this isn't an exact science. Just because your phone pings on a certain tower doesn't mean you were there.
The prosecution did call Cornelius Smith to the stand. Now, we don't see his face on camera. However, we can tell he's still in his inmate jumpsuit because he's been behind bars since his arrest in December of 2021. Cornelius testified that he only met Govan in 2021, just months before the shooting, and reiterated what the state said in their openings, that the two met because he was buying drugs off of him.
Get $20
drugs off of him.
Why were you buying pills from him?
Because I popped pills. I was popping pills at the time. That was my drug pill.
Did you have a particular reason why you were
That nigga like a
pills?
Ninja Turtle, Donatello looking ass.
I had a lot of stress
He
going
was
on.
ugly as hell.
Whatever. It was on and off thing anyway.
Jumbo forehead
I was
ass
just back
nigga.
on. Back on.
Was there a particular incident that caused you to start?
I had lost my son in 2020, March of 2020, and I just went back on. Get back on.
You've been on them before,
Yes, man, I had been on before.
and you at some point stopped.
Stop, man.
And after your son,
Got killed out, stop, back off.
and that's through that course you got to know Mr. Govan.
Yes, ma'am.
At what point did the situation change from you, or did it change from you buying pills from him to something else?
Like, I guess after a couple runs of going to buy pills on my own from him, he started asking me, I want to make some money. He knew ways I could get some money. I'm like, yeah.
Did you want some money?
Yeah, because sometimes I go to him, man, can I get a couple pills on credit? So, that was when you want to make some money? I'm like, yeah.
And why did you need money? Were you working at the time?
Yeah, not really. I wasn't just working like that. I couldn't just keep a job with a pill like that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. So you wanted money. What did you want money for?
A lot of different reasons. Make sure my children were straight.
At what point did he mention the actual bounties, as you say?
One night leaving getting some pills, he mentioned the prices on, who had 50 on his head. Dolph had 100 on his head. Somebody had 5 on their head, 10 on their head. He mentioned the prices too.
So it was...
Nigga was a cocky out here, nigga.
This person cost this much. This person
telling
cost
us who had money on their head, who had the most money on their head,
and who had
Dolph had the most money on his head.
And he had 100,000.
100,000 on his head.
And when you say his head...
I mean, if you kill young Dolph, you get $100,000.
Now, I gotta say here, everyone's got a nickname. Anthony Mims is Big Jook and Hernandez Govan is Quet. So when Cornelius is talking about Jook and Quet, that's what he means.
The individual you described as Jook, is he on the left or right of this photo?
From my eye, he's on the right, the big guy, right on the right.
He's on the right. And the individual on the left, who is it?
That's Quick.
And Jook is the person. Do you know his government name?
No, now since I've been locked up, Anthony Mims, since I've been locked up.
And Quit, you know it's Hernandez Govan.
Yeah, Hernandez Govan.
At some point, I'm sure you all exchange phone numbers.
Me and Quick.
Okay.
Never had Jook number.
You never had Jook's number?
No, I never had no contact with Jook. Thought I had to get in touch with Jook.
So any conversation about bounties went through Govan, is that correct?
Govan the one that did all the talking.
Okay. What name was Quit's saving to your phone?
I had it up on the bro.
Bro? Okay. And how many different phone numbers?
He had 2 different numbers.
But they were both under your phone as bro.
It's not a shocker Cornelius admitted to being one of the shooters because he admitted the same thing at Justin Johnson's trial. But this time around, the state was hoping Cornelius would tie Hernandez to young Dolph's murder. Because remember, Cornelius claims that he and Justin only met Quet, aka Govan.
Govan told you to get with Justin?
Yeah, Quick told me to get with Justin.
Okay. And what reason was he telling you to get with Justin?
So we could find one of any artist to get this money, And
so, what would Govan gain out of you all getting a bounty or hit on one of the paper routes?
He was getting a cut out of it. He's supposed to got $10,000 for me.
Govan was telling you about the turkey drive.
Right.
And
just,
I'm sorry.
He was telling me and just.
Were y'all together when he was telling you?
Right. At his house.
At his house. Did he mention the bounty? Did he mention the money?
Well, we had already knew the prices on majority of their heads, basically. On everybody else doing the turkey drive, we had already knew the prices already.
Including Dolph.
Including Dolph.
And let's go to November the 16th of 2021. What were you and Justin doing that day?
Well, he had called me up, came to pick me up. We had went because they had a turkey drive in South Memphis or something. And me and him was out riding, trying to get one of the artists that day that was doing the drive down there. And as we was out there, I got out on foot. There was a lot of folks out there standing with guns with her. Justin was in the car. And he called me and told me that he had got a call that young Dolph was at a gas station up the street from where we was at. So I ran back to the truck. And I jumped back in the truck. When we got to the gas station, Dolph was gone. So we rode around for a minute, then he dropped me back off at the house. And I laid down at night, and he was like, tomorrow we can go back out and see what's up.
So on the 16th, at any point did you think, okay, maybe we have a shot at getting Dolph?
Yeah, because we knew he was in town. We knew Dolph was in the city then, and we knew that tomorrow we were full-fledged then. We know we anything in shape right now. We gonna get somebody. We gonna strike. Tomorrow is our day. We gonna strike somebody. We gonna get lucky tomorrow.
And at any point did you all have this conversation with Mr. Govan?
Yeah, we were telling him like we really getting close. We getting fed up with playing. We finna get somebody. Basically, he was like, y'all done. Y'all done got big.
And in return, you all were supposed to, you expected to be getting money. So.
Right.
What are we looking at?
It's the Makita's Cookie Show shop where young Dolph and them pull it in.
Is that the vehicle that you saw previously?
Yes, ma'am.
And where were you all?
By that time, we had already, like, we was at the light. We went down to the light to make the block.
You gesturing this way, so you're the light coming this way?
Yes, ma'am.
This phone's too damn sensitive.
Now, could you see when Dolph got out of the car?
No, ma'am.
This September, America's car.
Vehicle coming to the frame. What are we looking at here?
That's the white Mercedes Benz we was in.
Were you the passenger or were you the driver?
I was the passenger.
This individual.
That's me. That's me.
And is this the gun that Justin had already in the car when you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Cornelius testified he did get hit when young Dolph's brother fired back at him and Justin, but Cornelius testified that they headed down to Govan's house after the shooting.
He promised to give you your money, didn't he?
He told us he'd get with us when he got done with his kids or whatever. When he got up, one or the other.
But you didn't have this number.
No, ma'am.
So he couldn't.
Boy, this shit about to get
No,
wild.
ma'am. He couldn't get with me directly.
So how would he have been able?
Boy, this shit about to get wild. I hope he stay alive long enough to see what's going to happen.
Cornelius was cross-examined as the defense tried to poke holes in his story, but shortly after he was off the stand, his girlfriend Angela Arnold was called to testify. She also didn't appear on camera, but she testified she's seen Govan a handful of times.
So you and Cornelius Smith would go to Govan's house?
I would ride with him, yes.
Okay. Would you ever go inside?
No.
So how do you know it was Govan's house?
Because Cornelius told me.
Did you see Govan outside the home?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where this home is located?
On Bradley Street.
Okay. What area of town is that?
Orange Mound.
And on the times that you saw him at the home, did you ever speak to Mr. Govan?
No.
Have you ever spoken to Mr. Govan?
No.
And so did Mr. Smith ever tell you about discussions that he might have had with Mr. Govan?
Yes.
So what did he tell you?
He said, something about a hit.
A hit on who?
On Dolph.
So Cornelius Smith told you that he talked about a Dolph hit with Hernandez Govan. Mr. Smith ever tell you any specifics about this hit on Dolph?
No.
Okay.
Y'all think he worked for the feds, nigga?
When and where they were going to do it?
Y'all think Govan worked for the
And
feds?
to your knowledge, did Mr. Smith ever have, well, let me back up a little bit. Do you know someone by the name of Anthony Mims or Big Joe?
Yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, did Smith ever have direct contact with Big Joe?
No.
So, how would he, if he communicated at all with Big Joe, how did he do that?
He said he would talk to Govan, send a message through him, and he would get a message to Jude. And Jude would talk to Govan, and Govan would tell him a message.
Okay. So Govan was the link between Mr. Smith and Big Joe.
Yes.
On the same day of the shooting, Cornelius called his girlfriend from a number she didn't recognize and asked her to pick him up at an apartment complex she's never been to before.
And who's that walking out right there?
This Cornelius with a bag in his hand.
We got some good looking cameras though.
Yes.
Sometimes they can be looking busted as fuck. Can't see what the fuck going on. Pixelated ass shit. Minecraft shit.
Angela testified when her boyfriend Cornelius got in the car, he told her that he was shot while shooting at young Dolph. And just like the prosecution pointed out in their opening statement, the shooters tried to cover up their tracks. They changed their clothes, they used gloves, ditched the car, until Cornelius realized he left his phone in the stolen Mercedes used to track young Dolph down. Then a few weeks after the murder, Cornelius ran into Govan.
Did he ever tell you that he ran into
That's
Govan?
crazy. How you forget your own phone?
Okay, when did he tell you that?
He said he was he was in South Memphis going to get some pills, and he ran into him in traffic. He blew the horn. Govan.
I think Govan is a police agent,
They
nigga.
get out, and Govan was like, "I've been looking for you.
Cause this shit not making sense to me.
You good?
Crip.
You all right?" And he said, yeah, I'm good." He said, Govan was like, "I don't know what you done heard, but I ain't said nothing, but we gonna get this money."
So based on what's been testified to, you would think that the prosecution had some strong arguments.
Defense will have you believe that there was no communication between Hernandez, Govan, and the rest of the conspirators. Sergeant Browning testified that on November 2nd, 2021, there were 7 communications between Justin Johnson and the number for Hernandez Govan.
Yeah, this nigga a government
On
agent,
November
nigga.
3rd,
He worked for the
7
government.
communications between Justin Johnson.
Govan worked for the government.
Hernandez
Ain't no damn way he got free from this shit. Like,
20
not saying I
communications
want him in jail, but it's
between
just a government
Cornelius
agent
Smith
shit right now.
and Hernandez Govan.
Nigga work for the government.
On November 4th, 7 communications between Justin Johnson and Hernandez Govan. 2 communications between Cornelius Smith and Hernandez Govan. On November 5th, 1 communication between Justin Johnson and Hernandez Govan. 4 communications between Cornelius Smith and Hernandez Govan. And as we get closer to the murder, November 6th, 4 communications between Cornelius Smith and Hernandez Govan. November 12th, 5 communications between Cornelius Smith and Hernandez Govan. November 15th, 2 days before the homicide, 2 communications between Cornelius Smith and Hernandez Govan. You heard it from defense that there was hardly any communication between Hernandez, Govan, and the conspirators immediately prior to the murder. You see here that there was communication.
But the defense didn't see it that way, again placing the full responsibility of young Dolph's murder on the shooters.
The slip-on
Again placing the full
Yeah, he worked for the
Dolph's
government.
murder on the shooters.
None of
He worked for the government at
you
this
would buy
point.
a pack of gum based on the word of Cornelius Smith. You wouldn't do it because he's a lying piece of so-and-so that will do anything. Lie to his pretend grandmother, his family, his girlfriend, anybody. And I'm going to prove it to you as we're going to go through a few more slides. And Detective Browning may even be worse because that's just pure evil, trying to put people in prison based on shaded evidence. Daphne told you the truth, that we didn't do all this other stuff that we should have done. We didn't get around to it, was his quote. He wasn't happy about it, but he told me the truth. The other guy, couldn't answer a yes/no question. It was always dodge and deflect, which is what they're taught to do as part of their training when they go and come and testify. These are the people that are policing your streets. You should be ashamed. The only crime that's being committed here today is in this courtroom. It's been committed for the last 3 days. This poor man will never get his life back because of what's happened. He's been threatened because they all think he's involved in the young Dolph murder. Everybody loves Dolph. Dolph has been threatened for years. He moved away from Memphis 5 years ago. He had 3 old bullets in his body from other times he'd been shot at by people, being in Charlotte, being in Los Angeles. Everybody knew there was a price on his head. There is no plan. There is no plan. I tell you why. Because if I made a plan and I go back to my house across the street with a murder car, are you freaking kidding me? And then they go ahead and call around to see where can we go to get changed. We are across the street from the guy that planned the murder. We don't go to his house to change clothes, but we ride around town until somebody picks up the phone, as you see from the records, and we go to True Lane while we're bleeding and doing everything else. Have you seen a single photo of Angel Arnold's car, the Mercedes, or anything that had a drop of blood in it? As if they said, Cornelius is a pathological liar. I don't even know if he got shot on that day, because you have to ask yourself, there is a bullet lodged in their shoulders, he told you. For a freaking month, he didn't get infected. He didn't have a problem. He just put some bandages on it and it was okay. Please, for the love of God, this is insane that I even have to talk to you about this.
Yeah, you can get shot in your arm and put a band-aid over it and you'll be okay. The bullet will just motherfucking stay in your arm, though.
We're all in trouble because you're going to
Yeah. You ever seen niggas get shot in their arm and just leave that shit and clean that shit up and it's okay?
Shooter Justin Johnson
years
also
later, the bullet come out.
But it seemed like the jury agreed with the defense when they came back with their verdict after 3 hours of deliberations.
We, the jury, found the defendant
I'll do that shit, but
Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment.
This nigga work for the government.
State of Tennessee versus Hernandez, Govan.
Donatello, Ninja Turtle looking head ass.
Govan was holding back tears after the jury came back with their decision, and after being acquitted on all charges, he was free to go home.
I knew I had a chance from the beginning because I knew in my heart I was innocent. And so, there was times during the trial, of course, you get some frustrations and stuff here and there, but overall, I knew my innocence would prevail.
Bro, you work for the government.
As for the 2 shooters, Justin Johnson is serving his sentence out in the South Central Correctional Center in Tennessee. As for Cornelius Smith, he has pleaded not guilty to his charges, even though he admitted in both Justin Johnson's trial and Hernandez Govan's trial that he was one of the shooters. At this time, no trial date has been set for him yet. Thanks so much for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millman.
Hey man, we got Drill Time TV. Memphis gangster put $200K on Hernandez Govan head for young Dolph.
Okay, so Juke is at your house. Is Straight Drop at your house also?
Correct.
Okay, and you guys are talking about potentially a deal with CMG.
Yes. We were basically at my house. Juke was telling us how to promote the music.
Yeah, Vlad be a bitch. She a pussy.
Justin the type of buzz that was needed to actually sign to the label.
What it takes. You would think I signed over you the way I keep it Drake.
Damn.
Like being Mel, all the niggas that gon' shoot for me, the one that see me with. I'm a shooter, not a rapper. Why would I
Damn, the fans did it.
Mr. Johnson, the jury having found you guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and convicted felon in possession of a firearm. As a 13th juror, I affirm this verdict. As to the first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. I will set punishment as to the conspiracy, then the convicted felon in possession of a firearm after a sentencing hearing.
Probably no bitch beside 2 real niggas. 2 real niggas with a pussy in the middle, man. Y'all don't do that, man. Don't fuck with our legacy. So pussy right here, y'all. 2 guys.
Dang.
It's kill time.
What's up, what it do? Drill Time TV checking in once again. Now, Hernandez Govan is on a campaign to misrepresent the truth on every platform that he questioned upon by convincing the world to believe that everything his pill-popping hitman claimed in the courtroom was a fictional depiction of what actually happened in real life. All because he had experienced attorneys that knew how to set the deck in a jury pool. But if you compare and contrast both of their stories together, only one of them really makes sense, showing cause and effect. Now, if Govan ain't careful, he go fuck around and pull a Keefy D and had his case reopened again. Now, one thing that stuck out like a bad BBL was, in the Vlad interview, Hernandez showed up to his house and he just happened to put it in the atmosphere that Yo Gotti brother Jook, the one that demonstrated his hatred for young Dolph every chance that he got, was just casually in the house chilling with Straight Drop. And he want us to believe that Cornelius approached him and said, oh, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to take Gotti out. And Govan's response was, oh, no, that ain't none of my business, and closed the door in his face. Bow. And he said he wasn't about to relay nothing to that extent to Lil Jook, because shit, he was out here trying to get a record deal. He just trying to get in the rap game, you know?
But then at one point, Cornelius Smith showed up at the house as well.
Correct. There was a knock at the door. And I went to the door and there was Cornelius. And I was under the impression that he just wanted some X pills or whatever like he normally did. So I told him to come back later. I was trying to get a deal signed for Drop. And he was like, no, it's important. So I stepped outside and that's when he mentioned to me, he was like, man, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to kill Gotti. So at that point, I never heard of that incident. You know, I heard of it. If you reverse it, I done heard of it their way, you know, the attempted hits on Dolph, but at that point, I hadn't heard anything about someone trying to do anything to Gotti. Dolph, but at that point, I hadn't heard anything about someone trying to do anything to Gotti. And I told him that wasn't my business, and I wasn't finna go back in and mention something to Jook that he hadn't said anything to me about. And so I just left it at that, and went back in and finished discussing the music. In the actual deal. And, however, Cornelius would explain the situation very different. He said when he arrived, there wasn't no Straight Drop there discussing no record deal with Big Jook. And matter of fact, Straight Drop wasn't there at all. He said when he popped up to get some pills that day, Govan walked him in the house, and that's when he met Jook for the first time. I guess Govan told Jook, look, this my man C I've been talking about, and Jook cut him off like, man, y'all take them phones outside. So Govan immediately take the phones outside, and Cornelius and Jook get to chopping it up for a minute. That's when Govan walked back in, and he started running down the bounty prices of all the PRE art, with young Dolph having the highest bounty at $100,000.
We knew that, you know, they had heat on Dolph and them head or whatever, so.
Who had a hit on whose head?
Big Jook had a hit on Dolph head or whatnot, so.
How do you know that Big Jook had a hit on Dolph's head?
But Quit had told me about it. Quit, and you know what I'm saying, just.
How much money was it supposed to be?
$100,000 on Dolph head.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
How many times had you met with Joe?
Just one time he quit out.
At Quet's house?
He quit out.
And when did that happen? Before or after Dolph was?
Before.
When that happened, was there conversation about these hits on the PRE rappers?
Yeah, really quick was doing all the talking, like, you know, just telling who out here pray, how much everybody had on their head and stuff like that. And Juke just like agreeing, like, you know what I'm saying? He made her take our phone outside first before we started getting to talk.
For this meeting at Quet's house?
Just me, Quit, and Juke.
You, Quet, and Juke.
If you really want to meet, I had pulled up about 8 people. Juke was already in it.
Okay.
Quit had started talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see, I heard Juke like, hello. Phone outside. Said I have a phone outside.
Okay, right now?
Yeah, I know. Quit the phone outside the church. Me and Juke was already in hell. Quit came in and started talking.
At that time when you met with Juke, is that the first time that anybody talked about money on Dolph's head?
Nah, the first time, it was just Quit last year.
So this had come up before with Quet, and then comes up again with Quet and with Jook.
Right.
When did you, in that timeline, so first just Quet, next Quet and Jook.
Right.
When did you meet Justin in that timeline?
Ooh, like right around the same time, you know what I'm saying?
That's the first time when it was just Quet, or the second time when it was Quet and Joe?
Like, in between the first and the second time, I had like, we had put me in just mention
Joe's the white man calling the shots. Quet put you and Justin together.
Right.
And you and Justin are cool with each other.
I would like to point out that Vlad had him in a chokehold and he couldn't almost get out that figure four headlock. And Vlad tried to counterattack by asking, so you didn't introduce Cornelius and Justin to Juk. So what did you think when you heard that they happened to be the shooters and Juk set up the bounty? Did you think it was a coincidence? He got to speaking in riddles and tongues and all type of shit, you hear me?
Along with Straight Drop, another suspect, 32-year-old Cornelius Smith, was listed as a suspect as well. This is now two guys that were at your house a couple months prior.
Yeah.
So when you heard that these two guys that you personally know are suspects in the murder of one of the biggest rappers ever in Memphis, did you think that it was mistaken identity, or did you think like, okay, this actually makes some sense?
Well, actually, I know you said it was, I think you said it was posted January 15th or whatever about Justin Straight Drop. January 15th, he was a suspect. I knew the same day. It was all over social media. Yeah, moments after Dolph got killed. And so, you know, everyone in Memphis, Tennessee knew about the CMG paper route beef. So after I, you know, made the introduction, the music introduction or whatever, I got out the way. I was still doing what I do in the neighborhood, on the street, you know, as far as selling my marijuana and whatever, you know, my sports betting, whatever it is that I do. So I couldn't babysit the music situation. When I made the music introduction, I got out the way, and I was still doing what I do. So when I heard that same day that Justin could be a suspect, you know, it was alarming because I knew he was in a space where it could possibly be true, you know. So yeah, it was alarming to me and concerning.
Now remind y'all, Juk and Govan was associates. Govan said he introduced Straight Drop to him trying to get a record label, so Straight Drop and Cornelius didn't have no ties to Juk. So how is Cornelius connected to this hit if Govan didn't introduce him to Juk and Straight Drop? Hey, look, Quit, man, check it out. I don't know who you fooling, but the whole world already know that was your flunky that you sent off, man. That was your customer that you was serving. He went down with Trula Mafia. So for you to pair up Straight Drop and Cornbread like that, and Straight Drop kept quiet and got a life sentence, and you walk free, and for you to turn around and tell Vlad that Straight Drop was in a space where it could possibly be true, meaning that he hooked up with Juk behind your back and killed Dolph, and you had no knowledge or nothing to do with it, with one of your customers riding shotgun, man, that's nasty work. Yeah, that's nasty work. Bro, you gotta quit sneak dissing and trying to create a narrative that this shit happened to Dolph because he brought it upon himself. We all know you was fucked up and sick your shooters on him on some middleman shit because you needed a couple bucks. Yeah, you already know. We read that book before you wrote it. Now, no matter if you agree with the verdict or not, we all can agree on one thing. It all boiled down to the jury. Agree with the verdict or not, we all can agree on one thing. It all boiled down to the jury. So it appears that a jury mostly comprised of African Americans just couldn't accept the fact that they were possibly listening to a truthful testimony based on the fact that Cornelius has a drug addiction and likes to get high as a coping mechanism because he recently lost his son. Not taking into consideration that this is testimony from the main shooter with the Draco. You know that Draco we seen in the video before the world even knew who the shooters were? Man, that was cornbread life that Straight Drop was rapping about when he was leaving clues on the internet, drawing attention to himself in the mix of the Dolph investigation. Well, it's clearly we seen Cornelius in that video holding that Drake like a crackhead, letting it get away from him. Man, I said that to say this. That man ain't had no reason to lie. And was telling the truth. He just didn't respect the fact how they tried to work their hand with the money after he already done crashed out and threw his life away. I believe they said he only got like 800 punk ass dollars. And look, if they wouldn't have got caught, he would have had to take that L on the chin. And Cornelius expected 40K from that hit. And after they did what they did, Cornelius contacted Straight Drop about the money. And Straight Drop told him, hold tight, tight and be cool, because Juk said it's hot right now. Insinuating there's too much going on right now for anybody to receive their payout. And meanwhile, Straight Drop dripped down in designer doing features with CMG artists. But at the same time, Cornelius looking at this punk ass $500 and these few pills, and he's scratching his head like he's trying to make it make sense, but it ain't even adding up no more. So he like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. And all that clout chasing Straight Drop was doing Straight Drop done chased this shit straight into a 6x8 jail cell.
You were describing staying in touch with Justin, is that right?
Yeah.
To your knowledge, was he still in town or out of town?
My knowledge, he was here.
And you had mentioned the money, is that correct?
Yeah.
And he had told you that Juk said it was too hot right now.
Yeah, too high right now.
But were you still interested in your money?
Yeah, I just wanted my money. I did the job, I just wanted my money.
And now we're back after the money. You're trying to get your money.
Right.
You're having conversations with Justin, is that correct?
Yeah, I was taking his phone like, you know what I'm saying? I need money for it.
And Cornbread would also mention about a month and a half after meeting Govan, he was seeing him and Straight Drop off on a mission to collect that bounty on Paper Road Woo, which ended in a shootout because Woo wasn't gone. Now Cornbread stated Govan provided him with a lemon-ass pistol that he couldn't squeeze because it jammed like Smuckers. Quick fucking plan. So boom, he almost get his wig split to the white meat, right? But he made it up out of there. I guess Govan figured Woo would be easy money and an easy target. They said he was running game on Woo mind. Through her, he would send his fake love to foster trust and constant keep a tab on Woo whereabouts.
Can't trust me, ho.
Cornelius said it was him Straight dropping Bobby. He said Bobby stopped messing with him when Straight Drop told Govan that Cornbread didn't wear a mask when he was tossing that paper out Woo. And you already know why they reporting to Govan. You know how I go in the hood. Whoever got the bag is the mover and the shaker, while the junkies get controlled by their addictions.
How long have you known Mr. Govan?
I met him in 21. Like mid-21, something like that.
Mid-21? So
like in the middle of 21.
When you met him, under what circumstances were you meeting?
I met him through an individual named Bobby. Buy pills at the time. I was just buying pills from him.
And would that be Bobby Carter?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were buying pills from Mr. Govan?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of pills were you buying?
Ecstasy and sometimes purposely pills. Oxycodone.
Would you say, why were you buying pills from him?
Because I pop pills. I was popping pills at the time. And that was my drug pill.
Was there a particular incident that caused you to start?
I had lost my son in 2020. March of 2020, and I just went back on.
A $200K bounty on his head, man, that's crazy.
Man, I ain't been on before.
And you stop. And after your son
got killed that starving.
And through that course, you got to know Mr. Govan.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's go back to mid-summer or so, however you say it, of 2021, when you first came into contact with Mr. Govan. At what point did the situation change from you, or did it change from you buying pills from him to something else?
Like, I guess after a couple runs of going to buy pills on my own from him, we started asking that I want to make some money. We knew why did I get some money. I'm like, yeah.
Did you want some money?
Yeah, because sometimes I go to him and ask, can I get a couple pills on credit? So, that was when you want to make some money. I'm like, yeah.
And why did you need money? Were you working at the time?
Yeah, nah, not really. I wasn't just working like that. I couldn't just keep a job with a bill and like that. I ain't
Okay. So you wanted money. What did you want money for?
I had to be free, make sure my children were straight, pop me a couple pills, make sure I was good. A lot of people.
How many children did you have at the time?
I had 5. I got 5 now, but I had 6.
6 altogether.
It was after my son got killed. I had 5.
So at some point, Mr. Govan asked you if you wanted to make some extra money.
Make some money.
And how were you supposed to make extra money?
Well, he told me that, it was a bounty on couple paper out here.
Okay, I don't see nothing to see.
It was a hit. It was a hit at the time on a couple guys in paper out here. Paper out here, whatever.
Okay, and what were some of those individuals' names, if you can recall?
Paper out, Woo, Young Dog. I don't know.
Why are you doing like this phone?
At what point did he mention the actual balance, as you say?
One night leaving getting some pills. He mentioned the prices on, who had 50 on his head. Young Dog had 100 on his head. Somebody had 5 on their head, 10 on their head. He mentioned the prices too.
So it was almost like a catalog. This person cost this much. This person
telling
cost
us who had one on their head, who had the most.
Tell that nigga that kind of gives a costume, nigga.
Who had
Young Dog had the most money on his head.
and he had 100,000. And when you say his head,
I mean, if you kill Young Dog, you get $100,000.
at some point you will testify that about the shooting of Young Dog. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to that, were you involved in any other shootings?
Well, one day, Mr. Govan had provided me with a gun, and he told us that Paper Route Roof was at home one day. So as we approached the house, me, Bobby, Justin, and another guy, I don't know the other guy's name. Bobby dropped me off. I get out walking on foot. Paper Route Roof was coming out the house. He had his gun in his hand at the time, and I was walking up the street. And me and him had a shootout or whatever. And the gun he provided me had jammed up. So, I had to duck and follow weed. Bobby had got to me, got in the car and went back to his house and reported what had happened to him. And he was glad I ain't get killed that day right there. But Bobby was like, he wasn't messing with this stuff because he was believing what Justin them told him about. We messed it up or whatever. And we didn't have our mask on and all this. So Bobby felt that.
Was there an incident with Paper Route that you were aware of prior to the incident where you were involved?
Nah, I don't know nothing else about no incident with Paper Route. Just that shootout that I had with him, that's all I know about it. And he was saying that he was gone.
Who was he?
Mr. Govan was saying he was gone.
Let me stop. All right. Did you call him Mr. Govan?
Nah, I called him Quick. That's what I do.
That was your nickname?
Yeah, Quick.
Would you feel more comfortable calling him Quick?
Yeah, I called him Quick.
Okay.
Quick was saying that he was gonna you would pay by
Nigga,
whatever to find out where they
nigga's a bitch, nigga.
Play up on the other. Find out who one of them is so we could reach out and touch him. Find out where he is.
Was it just he was going to see where Woo was, or was there other Paper Route?
Any one of them, like Woo,
Donatello looking ass.
make sure that
Fish face guy.
more like them, so he was gonna try to play their father figure and find out where they at and make sure we can reach out and touch them.
So from when you met him in midsummer, the shooting with Paper Route, how far from when you met him to when that shooting was?
I just can't recall, but it wasn't long after I met him though.
It was a couple of days, couple of weeks.
I say a couple of weeks, probably about a month and a half or so. I can't be specific about it. I ain't gonna lie like this. Well, after that incident with Paper Route or whatever, and the gun jammed up, I think probably the next day I pulled up old Quick House or whatever and found some pills. And when I pulled up, it was a truck sitting in front of the house or whatever.
Okay, what kind of truck?
I can't remember. I ain't gonna lie.
Like an SUV truck or F-150 truck?
Like an SUV truck, but I pulled up and I got out and when he said he was sitting up there with Juke. He was like, here go a little C right here. You go C right here. So Juke was like, look, man, we ain't doing no talking around these phones, take these phones outside.
Who said that?
Juke. So we got to talk. He was telling him, like, when you talking around no phone, take the phones outside.
Who was he telling to take the phone?
He telling Quick that.
Okay.
Paperwood Woo will respond on the blowout by saying, I just got off the plane. What these boys done said now? One user wrote, his gun jammed, that's it, that's all. Another user wrote, oh, your mom had a thing for Govan and he was about to play stepdaddy. Paper Raw Woo responded, that man ass was finna die. And then they replied back, and I'm finna call her because I need her side of the story. Young Dolph cousin Key Glock will chime in by saying, my city failed me, but what's new? And that's crazy, but you want to hear something real crazy? Listen to the juror state the reason they came up with a non-guilty verdict.
Well, it is a case that gripped Dolph's family.
I'm sorry for what we had to do, but that wasn't our choice.
In the end, it was a clear choice, he told
So
us,
is the government.
as Hernandez Govan would walk out cleared of all
Govan worked for the government.
charges.
So the star witness / lead shooter, along with his girlfriend that incriminated herself by saying indirectly that she went in the AutoZone and purchased the car cover herself for the vehicle used in a homicide, was the hardest to believe. And what video evidence was he talking about? Because we got a video with the shooter on there talking about, this is me right here with the Draco. He ID'd himself. Then he turned around and told you, look, this is why
They
I
work
did
for
it.
the
I needed
government.
money,
The
and this is
government
who put me up to
he
it.
worked for the
They
government.
even got the phone records showing that they always corresponding with each other. I don't believe that AutoZone footage would have really played a big difference. They telling you, look, we did it. We put this car cover on this car and parked it across the street from this motherfucker. What kind of AutoZone video possibly shown what? That they wasn't on the video and they making this shit up? And Memphis Insider seem to believe that Govan had motive to do something to Dolph because Dolph signed the artist from Memphis that killed J Money brother D Money. However, Govan better tread lightly because word on the net is the bounty on his head is $200K, and that's double the amount they had on Dolph. So I know how it go, and street niggas go want you free anyway so they can hold court in the streets.
That's a
I'd like to know how y'all feel in this situation. Let me know in the comments that the jury make the right decision.
If you
And
see
can somebody
Superhead
please
disappear,
explain
man.
to me what he meant by sorry we had to do it, but it wasn't our choice.
The
Sorry
government,
we
they
had
work
to
for the
do it,
government.
but it wasn't our choice. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Hit the
wow.
like button and the notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next one. Drill Time TV, I'm out.
Alright, we back. Like, if y'all say he not working for the government, I don't tell y'all niggas. That's the people understand saying they was forced not to say, forced to do what they said. Like, that just sounds like some shady ass shit, man. It goes to show you, man, like, the government gonna pick who they want to use to take you out. And they gonna always hold they bargain and they deal with the person who did it, you know what I'm saying, to get you free. Because the government probably didn't like Dolph because he was moving weight, or he was just like, he was a powerful young black man who can speak his truth. They didn't like that shit. So they use somebody, they always do that. Think about in Africa, they use our own people to assassinate each other. They do that all the damn time, till today. They use our own people to assassinate each other, you know what I'm saying, in America. So it's like, we live in them type of times where you can't trust nobody, man. We've been like that. But like I said, they free that nigga. He got bounty on his head. I think he's a government agent. And we out this bitch, hood and outside. Big crip in the gang outside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dawg, when we link up, dawg, this shit be legendary. You know this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.